This Let's Play was supported by these awesome hobby companies. Hello everybody. Today we are joined once again by Jonathan from Farsight Games, who's going to be running us through a very special Halloween edition of Those Dark Places. So it's a pleasure to have you back on the channel once again, Jonathan.
No, it's brilliant. Thank you for having me back.
So if people haven't seen our previous video, I suggest you pause here and go and have a look at that, because we explained Those Dark Places and the game system and the mechanics before we actually play through. But essentially it is industrial sci-fi. So if you think aliens, you won't be far away. Although I imagine with this crew, we're probably going to end up a lot more like Galaxy Quest.
I don't think more baseballs.
So
you never know.
Before we kick off, I suppose we should introduce the crew. So I am Oyston, I don't know where we are yet, so we'll get to that in a moment, but I am a helm officer with the secondary background in security, because apparently wherever we are, we need to deal with a lot of people on a regular basis that requires some gunplay or beating people up.
Yeah, due to the gunplay and beating up that is required, I will be taking a primary of medical officer and a secondary of liaison officer to hope to schmooze my way out of some places, but somehow I don't think schmoozing is going to happen as well as I think it might. But my name is Helena.
I will be taking on the role of Bob, a very strong, athletic, not very charismatic or clever security officer who is... You know, Jerry, we talked about this. It's aggressive negotiation, not fighting, with a secondary in engineering. So basically, if something's going wrong, I will hit it with a big spanner, and hopefully that'll fix things.
Okay, so Bob is apparently a Russian astronaut. Percussive maintenance will be used. I hope there's not any big, massive evacuations.
I've been warned about accents, Jerry. I am not doing the Russian accent on camera.
Okay, so where have you dumped us unceremoniously this time, Jonathan?
I have dumped you in the Pericles system. Pericles system is unexplored, apparently, and you've been sent out there to do a preliminary sweep, just to see what's out there before they start sending the big guns in, to send in that sort of resource allocation, and basically to start strip mining whatever's actually in the system.
Lots of opportunity.
Oh yes, it's the frontier of space, or the arse end of space. Literally, it's literally Uranus. So it's you've got basically, you're planning a duster crew, so you're basically doing odd jobs, which means you're going to blast out there, have a look around for a few weeks, see what's interesting, blast back again. That's it. Just report your findings, and then they'll send on the follow-on teams if it's worth their while.
A simple in and out. We've done these dozens of times before.
Yes.
No
trouble at all.
I see no problems with any of this.
How hard must it be, hey? We're equipped, right? We're equipped.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Well,
so any other cliches like hilarious consequences?
hijinks ensue.
So, are you ready?
We are.
Indeed.
Oh, good. Just so you know, as I run the game, I like to refer to you as your characters' names. So I'll be calling out your characters' names, not your actual names, just to help with the immersion a little bit. So. Welcome on board the DSRV Graham's, your standard scout ship. It likes to blast around the cosmos, doing odd jobs all over the place. It's about 40 years old, and it's proved to be an incredibly versatile and robust vessel. Your employer, Cambridge Wallace, are very, very happy with it. They're very, very happy with you. And they've got you a job. They just want you to fly out, have a look around. It's dead easy, not even a milk run. It is a long one. It's going to be 7 months out there, because you like on the rim from Grant Stellar Station. It's going to be 7 months travel out there, so you will be in long sleep for a long period of time. It's probably about 6 weeks, because you're going to have a look at about 4 different planets. There's an asteroid belt there as well. There's a couple of row comics as well, which might be worth having a look at. You just take lots and lots of readings, get any samples that you can, load it all up, fly back again. Again, 6 months back, 6 to 7 months back. So and if you do well, if it's a no-go, you'll get paid anyway. If it's resource rich, you'll get a bonus. If it's resource essential, you'll get double pay. So you can't say no to that. So it's considering the fact that you're going to spend 7 months asleep, 7 weeks awake, 7 months asleep. That's a pretty good run. That's the better part of a year and a half off your contract.
Copy.
So that's it. The Graham's itself is, like I say, is a very, very good ship. You will have a Sam on board. Sam is a artificial person.
Yes.
You can tell artificial people because their skin is very, very rubber and their eyes never blink. Just got like glass doll's eyes. SN4X2 is his designation, but his previous crew called him Barrow. No idea why. Apparently, he's just a decent sim, and he does what he's asked to do, and he'll look after you whilst you're asleep. So as we're going to start this game, the DSRV Graham's has actually arrived at the system. It's dropped out of faster than light travel, and he's slowly decelerating. It'll take 5 days to decelerate. You've come out of long sleep. You're a little bit groggy. It takes a little while for you guys to sort of get back up to speed as to what's going on, and then you're working on the ship, basically getting everything fixed up, ready to slow it right down, and then you can start your survey mission. With about 2 days to go, the communications array starts to ping. You're actually picking up an incoming communication. Communications on the Hypercon system are faster than Starship travel, but it's still really, really slow. So you've probably been flying for 7 months. This, by looks of it, this communication was sent about 6 months ago. So it's been chasing you as you've been going along, and then finally caught up with you a few days after you arrived in system. It's a simple video message. A little bit blurry. It's sort of like a stripy greenish screen as the face of your control handler, Masters, appears on the screen. Mm-hmm. They're looking a little bit dishevelled, cigarette hanging out the mouth. He's got loads of bits of paper. There's loads of people running around behind him, like there's a panic going on. But as you're sort of watching, he sort of fizzles onto the CRT screen, sort of looks up. Right, sorry about this. We've got a bit of a change of plan. This one's run out. Get me another one. We've got a bit of a change of plan. We picked up a signal in the system. There shouldn't be anything out there. The system is like a beacon, like a guidance beam, obviously either from a ship or a settlement. We're not too sure. We've checked with all the other companies. We checked our own records. We pretty much checked everything. There shouldn't be anything out there. So don't worry, it's a human signal. So don't get yourself stressed out. We're not going to send any science crews over just yet. So just home in on it, find out what it's all about, why it's there. It shouldn't be there. And it's a little bit disconcerting because if somebody's already there, we've got whole loads of problems with legal and claims and what have you. So just send us a ping back just to acknowledge that you received this message and make that your priority. From what we can understand, it's a really weak signal and very old as well by the looks of things. But other than that, it's literally just a guidance beam. So you should be able to find it on one of the older bandwidths. If you switch over to 420, you should be able to find it on that. Just hone in, find out and report back your findings. You might as well carry on with the survey mission as it stands because, let's face it, you know, if we can get through the legal red tape, then perhaps there's still something out there. But yeah, make that signal your priority. Anyway, good luck. I'll see you in, I'll see you in 8 months.
When the video ends, I'll record a ping back message. Received and understood. Will make investigation of signal a priority. Confirmed. And then just send that.
I wanted to start discussing with everyone that there was a lot of shoulds in that, and I'm feeling quite unsafe about deterring from the mission. It doesn't make me comfortable. This is my first time out on a long mission, and I was quite comfortable going out and doing what I had to do, knowing my way around. And I am a little bit nervous about it. Should be okay.
We'll be 100% fine, Elena. Things like this crop up every now and again. Maybe it's just somebody who's drifted from their flight plan. It may be an old derelict that's still transmitting because of, the batteries just pinging out, which is why it's such a weak signal. There's lots of different reasons. Maybe it's one of the old satellites that Earth fired out, decades or hundreds of years ago when it's just been locked in orbit around here. It could be anything at all. It's nothing to worry about. We'll have a quick flyby, see what's going on, and we'll still be home in time for Christmas. It's all good.
I mean, we can take a look. Just because we go to look at it doesn't mean we have to board the thing.
No. Well, I suppose I'm behind you two, and you two are pretty well and secure. So I can hide behind the both of you when we do have a look anyway.
Hide behind the wall of a testosterone.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Bob and myself have you covered.
Well, the first thing we need to do is kind of figure out where is it, and can we maybe double down and do our survey at the same time as giving it a little look?
Well, the signal comes up on 420, and there it is. It's a very, very faint signal, and it's just a sound. It's going. And what it is a guidance beam. You follow that if somebody's bringing you into land. Very, very simple, very, very weak, and very, very old. People don't usually use those kinds of beams anymore. But yeah, there's a planet and two massive asteroids that you can pass on the way at full speed, at full burn. You should be there in about 6 days.
Does anybody want to stop for anything before we do make our way? Or do you want to head straight?
I'd like us to maybe take and make sure we do our scan as we go. Because there's no point, retracing our steps afterwards. So if we scan as we go and then we get a look at the thing, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, 2 birds with one stone.
Okay, you set course, start burning away. Barrow is basically just wandering around the ship, doing all the menial tasks. So he's cleaning up after you, doing your food. There's nothing for him to do now that you guys are awake. Because all missions are still left. There still needs to be a human element in all missions. SAMs can't be trusted to do a mission properly. There's always you always need humans to do it. They've always been the and they're cheaper as well. Humans are. So he's basically just wandering around, doing stuff around the ship as you're burning along. The first planetoid you go past is about the size of Pluto. It's a nice planet because you're on the outside of the solar system. You haven't gone past the Oort cloud, and it's just a frozen rock. It's absolutely huge though. As you get close, it's got 3 satellites. Well, who wants to scan it?
Oh, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Engineering skills, so I might be able to do something with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to be. You haven't really got any skills to do a proper scan. What I'll say is the instruments will help you. So roll a d6, add your education score, and the instruments will give you a +2 to your roll.
Okay, that'll give me a grand total of 8. Then.
8's brilliant. Yes, it's rich in iridium. There's also lots of trace gases. There's coal well below the line. So yeah, there's plenty of materials on there. A resource controller, considering the size of it and the depth of its contents, could spend a good 2 or 3 years out here. So that's a good sign straight away. The moons themselves are literally just break, so it's mainly just rock, basalt. There's nothing special about them at all.
No.
What's our standard operating procedure whenever we're doing things like this? We take all the scans and then report.
Take a scans, you drop a buoy.
Or ping as we go.
You drop a buoy to go in orbit, and basically that's the claim. And that'll send out a constant signal, and that's basically if everybody else turns up, they'll see the buoy there. They'll get the signal, and the signal also transmits to everywhere. So that if you blow the buoy up, that somebody's still going to receive the coordinates of where the buoy was. So that's your claim made.
Send Barrow down to one of our docking bay or engineering bay and get him to launch that.
Absolutely. It's literally a matter of minutes. He goes down, he preps it, puts on the automate, sort of gives it a serial number, sort of puts in a little bit of data about you and the crew, and then it shoots. These buoys are like the size of dustbins, so they're only small. As it ejects out, so all the panels fold out and it spins off to get itself into a stable orbit around the planetoid.
I'm feeling a bit better at the moment. I'm feeling that out of space is relaxing me a little bit. Now I'm awake. I'm helping out the sim as much as I can, trying to keep myself busy. But I'm starting to get a bit more relaxed as we approach this planet, because that was a really good raid, as it were. That was quite good. So I'm feeling a bit of peace.
I mean, as this is all happening, I'm just... Sorry, Jerry.
No, I'm just going to say it's very simple. I'm just going to spend my time mainlining coffee.
Yeah.
Nice.
For myself, I'm just doing the security checks, making sure all the systems are still up, running, functional. Nothing weird or wacky is going to happen with the engines, or the guns are all locked up where they should be.
Yeah. Now, as you're working in the engine room, suddenly the door literally just flies open, and Barrow walks in straight at you and walks up to you and says, "Would you like a drink, sir?"
Barrow, calm down. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Coffee, black, 3 sugars.
Certainly, sir. He turns around and walks out again. The next one on the list was one of the asteroids. As you sort of head towards it, who wants to do the scan?
Oh, go on, I'll do the scan. It's not really beneficial for me to do the scan. It might be beneficial to you, Bob, because you've got some extra engineering points.
Well, I've got engineering, but I am not smart.
It's going to be a D6 plus your education score.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got 3. So
go for it. So
I'll give it a go.
D6, add your education, and then add a further 2.
So rolled a 4. I've got 3 on education, so I've got 7, and then a further 2, so I've got 9.
9. Yeah, the asteroid is huge, probably about twice the size of Ceres. Absolutely, it's got its own rotation. It's actually creating a little bit of gravity, which is absolutely spot on. That's what you want on a station on a mining asteroid. It's really rich in lots of different veins. It's got an iron core, but it's really rich in some very, very exotic radioactives. So yeah, that's a definite ping.
I will get what's that little AI called? What's its
Barrow.
Barrow. I'm going to get Barrow to kind of go have a look, have a butcher's, and do what he needs to do. Get that pinged over so everybody knows what we've come across.
He puts the details in. Of course, you found it. He puts your name in. Puts all the details of the crew and the ship. Fires the satellites. Again, solar panels fold out. It starts flying towards it. But as you sat at the console and you're sort of checking to make sure, okay, the communications array starts beeping again. And it looks like it's the signal coming from this, whatever it is that you're heading towards at the moment. It looks like there's another message attached to that signal.
Can we retrieve the message?
You retrieve it, yeah?
Yeah.
Click a few buttons, you switch in. It's very, very faint. You've got the signal sound going. And in the background, you can hear, help me.
Huh?
Help me. Help.
Sounds like you need a medic.
Yeah, can we tell if the signal is live or a recording?
You can't tell.
So this could be there for a while. So has this come out because we've got closer?
Possibly.
So what I need to talk to you guys about is I understand that they could potentially need a medic and they could need assistance, but we could be walking into something that we don't know what we're walking into at the moment, because this could be an old recording and there could be stuff waiting for us to come and collect. I'm not comfortable with this, guys. I'm not.
Well, here's something really important. We've already been here for a while. This has been sitting here for an age. I doubt if the next few days is going to be, well, I doubt if...
We don't know. We need to render assistance to this guy. Come on, Bob. You just can't let somebody die out here in the cold vastness of the void.
How long have they been here already?
We don't know.
A few more days is fine. We have a job to do.
No.
Let's be honest.
If this was me sending out a signal and knowing that somebody is close enough to help us, and they chose to go about and finish whatever month-long project they were on before they came round, I would be raging if I was still alive.
I understand.
We have to render assistance to them. The man's calling for help. That's an emergency. We just can't go, I'm going to scan a few more planets and maybe, take months around the sun.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get more medical supplies than I need, in all honesty, because I don't know what I'm walking into. But you're right, this guy does need help. So I'm going to go and collect some extra medical supplies.
Can
just
plot a direct course to the source of the signal rather than just our winding our way through the various sort of targets for scans?
All
right, look, if we're doing this, we're going in armed. I do not trust this. I'm going to go to the gun locker and just start pulling up weapons for everybody.
Gotcha. In a gun locker, standard gun locker, you have 2 shotguns because shotguns are cool, and you've got a pistol, but then everybody also is assigned a Dazer Mark III, which is basically a stun pistol, because you shouldn't really shoot guns in space. It's a bit daft. No. So the shotguns are there for emergencies, the pistol's there for emergencies, and the Dazer's there to shoot people in the face and not kill them.
I will grab a shotgun for myself.
Yep.
I will grab the pistol and the other shotgun and pass it out to the rest of the crew.
Yep.
I will bring the Dazers as well, just in case. We can take that as our first option, but if something goes sideways, boom, boom.
Gotcha. The shotguns are basically just like sawn off street sweepers, sort of Outland style, because Outland's a cool film. So you got those, automatic pistol and the Dazers.
Perfect.
Yeah. I will give the pistol to... Well, I will keep the pistol for myself. I will also keep a shotgun for myself.
Yeah.
Jerry's character will get the shotgun, and we'll each get one of the Dazers, because I don't expect our medic to be willing to kill someone.
Oyston. My name is Oyston.
Apologies, I forgot.
Oyston.
You've only known him
No.
for 7 days.
To be honest, I'm really grateful for that, in all honesty. I'm more than happy to carry as much as possible because I've got a backpack with all my medical supplies. I'm more than happy to carry, but my strength isn't very high, in all honesty. I don't think I'm going to be very good with weapons. I feel safer with you guys with weapons. You can lean on me for medical support.
It's okay. You have a stun gun.
How long
certainly
will
will
it
be
take us
stunned.
to reach the source of the signal then?
Say again, sorry, missed that.
How long will it take us to reach the source of the signal?
You've done a couple of surveys on the way. You're probably about 2 days away now.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and talk to Barrow for a bit. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the AIs, in all honesty. I respect them. I don't think they should be treated any less. I'm going to help him see if he needs any help doing anything. Just to try and be handy and kill some time and relax myself before we land where we need to be.
I'm going to send a message back to Cambridge Wallace to advise them of the updated status that we have heard a call for aid, essentially, from the target. And we're now making best speed towards that.
Gotcha.
Can I recommend you include our current survey data with it?
Sure.
At the end of each day, I'm going to log what I've been up to whilst I've been awake. I'm going to be sitting down and explaining that there is potential dangers and ensure that they are logged. And if they do need to be sent back to where they do, people are able to find us.
On that note, Bob, Helena, I suggest we possibly look at taking shifts and monitoring that signal in case there's any change. Or any further information. So I'm willing to take the sort of the first 8-hour stint, but then that means we've got coverage for the next 2 days until we get in there in case anything's changed.
Perfect.
Yeah,
sure. I'll take the second one after you.
I'll take the third.
Yep. In fact, in the third shift, as you're Bob, as you're sat there sort of looking at the instruments, it's coming in again. The signal starts to change a little bit. So you got the. And then hear that voice again saying, please, is there anyone out there? Anyone at all? Everything's failing. Everything's failing. And it just switches off again and then goes back to.
The question I have the question inside my own head is, do we have the ability to attempt to respond?
A good point. If everything's not working, he can communicate outwards. Why can we not communicate in?
True, but if it's a trap, do I really want to give away that we're on our way in?
No, but we could survey as such, so we could see what's on the other side. We don't want to say that we're landing. We just want to talk in to say, is there anybody there? We don't want to give away that we're on our way, but we should just attempt communication, at least before we throw ourselves in there.
I tell you what, I'll not communicate with them, but I will mention to Oyston, is it? Whenever he gets back on shift, that the signal changed and that we should maybe be trying for like a long distance scan as we're getting closer and closer to see if there's anything else we can tell before we arrive.
Okay, so I'm
throw myself into the seat at the helm and try and work out. Presumably, this is a guidance beacon, so it's not supposed to be used for actual voice communication.
That's right.
So he's had to jury rig it in some way to do that.
Possibly.
Is there any way we could attempt to respond?
Absolutely. It's a signal like any other. So literally you can just send a message back down. I mean, you'll have your own receiving signal. Right. If you'd registered that you were following the guidance beam. But yeah, you can log into that and it's literally just like leaving an open channel that people can listen to and then following where the signal's coming from.
Okay.
So yeah, you can send your own message back.
I'll attempt to communicate then. I'll send a message. This is the DSRV Grahams. We have received your distress signal and are making best speed towards you. ETA 24 hours?
Yeah, thereabouts, yeah.
If you receive this signal, please acknowledge and respond.
A few minutes go by. And then again, you got the return signal. And then it sort of clicks. And then you hear again that plaintive voice. Grahams, hurry.
Delightful. I'll respond again.
Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to inform whomever's above us that there is someone alive and we are openly communicating.
Specifically, I'm just going to go, my name is Oyston. I'm helmsman on the Grahams. Can you tell me your name and what is the nature of your emergency?
Oyston. Woofren. Power's failing. No gravity. No light, no heating. Everything's failing. Oi.
How many souls on board?
Just me. And all that's left.
How many were on board?
There were 7 of us. Just me left now.
Do you have enough supplies to get you through the next? How many hours have we got?
I can't. Then it goes quiet.
Well, there's no way we can get there any faster.
Yeah.
You can burn a bit faster. You're putting the engines under a little bit of strain, and Mr. Engineer will have to make a roll to do that, but it's up to you. If you fail the roll, you could be putting the engines under unnecessary strain.
The benefit of the roll is that if we get there quicker, we can find out more information.
Mm-hmm.
If we get there too late, he'll
Get there
die.
quicker, we can save a life.
Well, yeah, there's that, you know.
Oh, yes.
Hear me out.
Damn it, I'm a doctor.
We knacker the engines. We don't get to go home.
Yeah, I'm not saying knacker the engines. People know
No?
we're out here.
Just give it a little whoop.
If you do damage the engines that mean we can't make the trip back ourselves, people already know that there's somebody alive here, and we've still got communications. We can still get somebody out to us. We've got the supplies.
Mm-hmm.
We can even
Yeah,
just
but
jump back in
what-
the long sleep tubes and wait if push comes to shove. So
I don't think we should be wasting time. I think that we should be saving a life. If we can get them faster, we can bring them into safety. He's been through a hard time. He seems stuck. He doesn't seem to be having any issues with anything externally, rather than just his gravity and stuff that's gone wrong with his own ship. It seems to be a simple get in and get out, and I'd rather get there and get him alive.
I mean, I'll give it a go, but we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
So fine, let's put the engines.
I'm not going to lie to you. It will be difficult because overdriving an engine, there's loads of safety protocols that you've basically got to disconnect. So the difficulty is going to be 8.
can we
Mm-hmm.
get Barrow to help with that?
Oh,
Certainly, you get an extra +1 with Barrow's help.
cool.
So you want a D6, adding your education, adding +1 for your engineering, and a +1 for Barrow's help as well.
Ah, that's nice.
I've got a 3 base. Are we sure we want to do this?
Yes.
Yeah, go on. Why not? Go on.
Five or better. I get a 3.
Okay.
You all dead on 8, yeah?
No, 6.
You're 6.
I'm on 6.
Okay, so you go through the protocols, disconnect them, put the engines up. It starts to burn.
Beautiful.
Speed goes up by 40%. Really good. As you come close to the target, you're probably about 4 hours away now. Suddenly, there's a god almighty sort of heave, like, ooh, like the entire ship, like the entire chassis, like the entire superstructure's twisting. There's a massive pop of engines, and the engine room immediately starts to fill up with smoke and sparks where you are at the moment. I'm going to ask you to make a strength roll. You should be okay. So D6 plus your strength score.
So that'll be for a 10.
For a 10, brilliant. It's Star Trek style. There's little pops and explosions going off all over the place in your face. You're basically trying to get to different units to get them to shut down, to reinstall the protocols, to put the bathrooms back in place, etc., etc. I'm going to ask you again to make another engineering roll, please.
All right. I am going to have shouted, Barrow, get in here.
Yeah, Barrow's already on his way. C-3PO
So
style.
that'll be a 6.
A 6 in total. That's with Barrow as well, yeah?
Yeah, that's with Barrow. That's with my education. That's with my engineering being my secondary.
Got you. You cannot get these engines to shut down. In fact, the safety protocols, because they've now been disengaged, the systems connecting those to the engine have been fried. So now the engine's basically going, I'm having fun here, screw you, and it's just literally just burning away. So yeah, it's not looking good.
We're not going to place.
The only way you're going to be able to sort this out is to do a complete engine shutdown, and you have to coast the rest of the way on thrusters.
That'll do. I will.
Yeah.
I will hit the big red button to turn off the engine.
Basically, you hit that. The halon system comes on because you've got sparks now. You've got fires breaking out in different areas. That all comes down. You have to pop a mask on because of that. And then for the rest of the ship, all the lights flicker and then go out. Remember, there's no porthole, there's no windows on the starship. So everything goes like literally pitch, cannot see black for about 2 or 3 seconds. And then the lights start to flicker back on again. And then you hear that familiar hum in the background of the engines powering back up. For a moment, you get this feeling of nausea because the gravity fluctuates. But then it sort of settles down again, and all you can smell is the smell of sort of burning, sort of electric burning. Now,
so how far are we now? Then
well, you've done really well for time. The engine's really burnt. You're only 4 hours away. Now you're coasting on just forward momentum at the moment. You'll be able to slow down with thrusters. That's not a problem. So yeah, you'll still make it in the 4 hours. But your engines are in a pretty bad way.
I warned you people.
I know we should have listened to the engineer. We really should have. But save a life.
It's successful though. What's wrong with you, Bob?
Oh, you made it
back here earlier.
I'm kind of worried that with this happening, we may end up having to save our lives.
Do you know what? I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we do. I'm going to keep calling in. And I'm going to keep checking in, keep doing our logs and uploading them to make sure that they know what kind of state we're in.
Yeah.
So I need them to know that our engines have gone awry. We need them to know what we're at, where we're doing. And we also need to know that we've made communication with someone as well. So I'm going to check in. So if they can not send anything, but they can help and give any assistance at all by calling back, that'd be helpful.
Okay. But if they do call back, it's going to be about better part of 10 months before you get a reply.
Yeah, before we hear.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But at least you're putting the information out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to the engineering deck and give Bob a hand for a couple of hours, then make sure I'm back up at the helm whenever we're coming in sort of an hour out so I can prep to...
Yeah, I'm going to have myself and Barrow just working on the engines to bring them back to at least some semblance of normality, replacing burnt out components and stuff.
Like I say, you can run it on thrusters, that's not a problem, but the engines themselves are buggered. Basically what's happened is there's converters for the energy from the core that then goes into the engines and then turns to thrust. And you've got 5 converters, 3 of them are completely burnt out. You've only got 2 replacement converters because this basically doesn't happen on starships unless you push them. So one of your converters is out. Unfortunately, you need 5 active converters for safety reasons and to go into faster than light travel. So you're going to need a replacement converter from somewhere.
Right, so when we're going down to the ship, when we're saving this man, he says that his ship is trashed. So would it not be worth having a look if they've got anything in board that might be able to help our own?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm quite happy to cannibalize whatever we need to get moving again.
Yeah.
Cannibalize you if we get stuck here.
Well, a lot of starship parts are interchangeable for this very reason. You get stuck in the middle of nowhere and somebody else turns up, you're going to want that kind of help. Converters are the same between many smaller starships about your size, small settlements, space stations and all sorts. So even if it's not a ship and it's something else, chances are the converters are going to be compatible. 4 hours later, you start coming into view of the source of the signal. What you have is a large asteroid, obviously not picked up on any of the scans of Wayland. Oops, sorry, wrong franchise. Of Cambridge Wallace. So as you sort of come in, it is huge, it is massive. But by the looks of it, the signal is actually coming from a base which has been attached to the asteroid. There's no vessels in sight, and what you do have is a small base. As soon as you see it, you recognise exactly what it is. There are units called GenVat stations, and what they do, they genetically grow food and masses of it, synthesize it and grow it, and then they ship it out to different places. Obviously, this has been put here for some reason, obviously not registered for some reason. But that's basically what it is. It's a GenVat food station. Looking at it, you see the big blobs on the right-hand side. That's the communications array. It's really, really damaged. It looks like it's been hit a few times. And at the very top, we've got another blob, and that's the engine section. And basically what it is just a Starship engine, which has been reconfigured to power the station.
Nice.
You'll definitely get a converter out of that.
Oh,
if it's working. Yeah.
Is there anywhere... Oh, sorry. I'm just having a look at where everything is. Is there any way that I can check any medical, if anybody left anything over? Would they be in any storage?
Gotcha. Chances are that'll be in storage, but there's no... It's receiving communications you cannot access their system. So you can't actually, unfortunately, you can't actually tell. If it's a standard GenVat food station, then yeah, it's going to be full of all sorts of medical equipment.
Brilliant.
For
So
the
I'm
people
going to have to go wandering.
Yeah. Now, the thing is with Gen Food stations is the fact that there should be a crew of 48. There should be 48 people working on here on rotating shifts. Obviously, the gentleman said that was only 7 of them.
Yeah.
And who was the last one?
The landing bay.
Yeah.
Is there a airlock from the landing bay? Or
yeah, you'll see the 5 doors on the right-hand side. Basically, they will slide open. You can slip the grams in sideways, land it, and then it'll pressurize. The entire landing bay is like a huge airlock, and it'll pressurize. Now, because it's sending out a guidance signal, the airlock itself will recognize any incoming ships. And, protocol says it should open automatically. As you're getting closer, there's no sign of that.
When we're approaching the blob on the right-hand side, can we see how damaged that is? Or
yeah, if you can imagine just a normal dish, a sort of radio telescope dish, about 5 or 6 of them, all of different sizes, pointing in different directions. And the biggest one at the top, which is the main interstellar communications for the Hypercom network, they're completely smashed to pieces. It looks like impact damage. There's no scoring or anything like that from explosions, but it looks like a lot of some impact damage. In fact, the whole station itself looks like it's been belted quite a few times. A lot of stations they can create their own magnetic field, so it creates their own sort of like the aurora borealis. It'll create around it, which acts as a deflector for incoming radiation. It also has a powerful magnetic field just for smaller items. You're getting no detection of that at all, which means this station, depending on how long it's been out there, it's probably been flooded with radiation from the sun.
Right.
Unprotected.
I think best thing to do right now, I'm going to take Barrow with me, and we're going to go and start prepping environment suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the readouts, the coldness of it looks like there's no life support on the station at all. You can't really tell much more other than that. The sensors in this world, unfortunately, aren't that great. You can only basically what you can see and what some of the bouncebacks tell you. You will have to go in full. If you are going to go in there, he recommends full spacesuits.
It's fine. While you're prepping that, I'll attempt to contact Wolfram again. To see if. To let them know that we're inbound and see if there's still power to the landing bay door. Because I don't want to crash into that.
No.
That's a good idea. There's no answer from him, but the guidance signal is sped up as you get closer. So like sonar almost. When it gets into one continuous signal, then you see the actual main door start to slide open.
Cool.
No
come up and maneuver us into the landing bay then.
Yeah.
While you guys are all prepping and doing what you need to do, I'm going to try the communications again. And I know that the signal went dead again. I'm just going to try one more time just to give them a bit of safety and a bit of calming to say that we are on our way. Please hold on for a bit longer, just to try and say that we're close.
Gotcha. Yeah, the signal's getting there, but he either can't or won't answer. There's no return signal. He's definitely receiving, but there's no reply.
Right. There's one thing I'm going to go and grab just to bring along with us. I'm going to see if there's any form of portable plasma cutter that I can bring with us. Because if the power's down, we might have to cut open some doors here.
Absolutely. Okay, then that's no problem at all. It's a handheld unit. It looks like a huge. There's massive industrial staplers. Basically, it looks like one of those. It's got 2 lines going down the side, and it projects a plasma field up to about 30 centimeters, which is good enough to cut through most blast doors. So yeah, that'll be absolutely spot on.
I'm going to make sure that my backpack is quadrupled check of everything that I need. I'm going to take extra adrenaline, everything that I need, because we're not just saving us. There could be potentially people out there that are really hurt.
Absolutely. That's no problem at all.
Do we have additional environment suits or...
Well, the Graham's usually takes a full crew of 7. So he only needs you 3 at the moment because Barrow's probably doing most of the work anyway. So you'll have the full 7 suits.
Grand.
So you'll have 4 spare, I should say.
Because I want to bring an additional one, presumably if they've been lacking power or if there's been issues.
Yeah.
Whatever he's got is already burnt through. So if we need to stuff him into a suit, better do it on the ship rather than try to drag his, I was going to say dead ass, but no, he'll still be alive. Think positive, Oyston. Positive.
Yeah. He's alive.
Yeah.
Well,
first of all,
once we're down.
First of all, you've got to land the ship.
Yep.
Because there's no landing lights, so you're literally going in on floods alone, which is against every single safety regulation out there. And in fact, your ship is basically all these warning signals are going off saying proximity alert, no landing guidance. What the hell are you doing, you nutter? So basically, what you're doing is rolling a d6, adding your agility score, and adding your primary of helm. 8. Well, the difficulty was 8. So that's dead on. That's just made it. So you're slipping sideways as you're landing. As you're lowering that, there must be something on the floor of the landing bay which you didn't notice, because the ship sort of literally sort of leans forward very, very slightly. You can feel the tilt. Loads of alarms are going off. Your gyros are just going nuts and screaming for attention. And then there's a huge crunch. You can feel it throughout the entire ship, and then the back end drops. And then there's loads of sounds of loads of escaping gases throughout the ship as it settles. And then slowly you see the outer door outer door close, slam shut. You see little lights, but they're nothing more than LEDs. And then you sort of get the notification. You see a green light. You see a red light, a yellow light, and then a green light come on as the entire landing bay supposed to have been pressurized.
Still wearing my helmet when we exit this place.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't believe it.
Yeah, I think I may need to get the big spanner. Just in case. I will let Barrow carry the big spanner.
Yeah.
Before we leave and go anywhere, I just want to thank Barrow. I just want to sit down and I just want to talk to him and thank him. That's all. I just want to keep him on side.
I appreciate that, miss. It's very, very good of you.
You realise
I hope you have a nice day, Barrow. Yeah, well, still, toaster deserves a smile. Listed.
Who doesn't like toast?
Hey, let's rock and roll.
Okay.
You can go first.
You go through you're all going out through the airlock at the same time, or it's big enough for you all to fit into the airlock?
Yep.
Okay, your spacesuits are your standard sort of big, bold helmet, sort of padded spacesuits. You've got your life support unit on the back and your equipment satchel on the front. Helena, you'll have all your equipment at the front.
Perfect.
The shotguns will work in no atmosphere, so that's not a problem. They're chemical. And anything else will be on your utility belts. There will be a little bit fumbly if you're trying to do something that involves agility. So you will be at -1 to your agility for now, with a minimum of 1. So yeah, the door slides open, and you're looking out into a landing bay, which is obviously suffering from the effects of absolute zero G. You've got lots and lots of dust, really thick dust hanging in the atmosphere. So your helmet lights sort of give these sort of God rays in different directions. Very Ridley Scott. This is very well choreographed. And looking down in there, you've got loads of bits and bobs. There's crates, wires, debris drifting in all sorts of different directions. Your suits are saying no atmosphere, so your lights on the wall were basically fibbing. Now, that shouldn't happen. Your lights don't work if there's no atmosphere. If there's no atmosphere, then the light should have stayed red, but it didn't. It went from red to amber to green.
Okay. How dark is it in here?
Absolutely pitch black. The only lights are from your helmet's lights and the odd LED on the ceiling, which doesn't really give much illumination at all.
It's full Mulder and Scully in a forest. It's just beams everywhere.
Right. Yeah, as photographed by Woody Deakins.
Yep.
Do we have any cam lights that we can just crack and throw around the place to give us a bit more illumination?
Absolutely, yeah. If you pop back into the airlock, there's a whole rack of them for emergency situations. Brilliant. The airlock also serves as an escape pod. The whole thing detaches and shoots itself out if you have to.
So
I'm going to throw 5 of those into my utility belt, grab the rest, and pass them amongst everybody.
Well, there's 10 in total. Yeah.
When we go through these doors, is there any particular vehicles to get around the base easier? So I can see that it's quite a large map. Are there any? Do we have to walk through all this, or is there anything close by?
It's huge because it's the way it's designed is to transport huge vats of food. Yeah. I mean that corridor in front of you alone, from wall to wall, is probably the better part of 30 meters wide. But no, there's no vehicles.
Right. Good to know.
We should be able just to float.
Yeah, I was going to say we've got limited gravity currently, so we're more
very agile.
More swimming and bouncing than walking.
Oh,
Is the internal airlock door?
It's closed, but it's not locked, but there's no power to it, so you're going to have to open it manually. That's literally just opening a panel next to it. There's a big sort of, submarine door wheel thing, which you can just turn. It's going to take you about 2 or 3 minutes to get it open.
Okay. Start cranking away.
Okay.
We know the layout of these Gen Food facilities. Are they based on a sort of a schematic?
Absolutely. I mean, you can go on to, you've got like these sort of wrist sort of PDAs on your suit. You can just literally just scroll through facility layouts. So it's easy if you go and visit somewhere, you don't have to worry about finding a map or finding a sort of tourist information center. You can just scroll through it and then, this is one of the maps on there. So the map is laid out as you see it. Okay.
In that case, I suggest we go for comms first.
I agree.
Because if
while that couple of minutes is happening of the door opening, I just want to have a quick scout in the landing bay to see what's in or around us and what the hell our ship landed on.
Just the ship landed on what is basically a forklift truck. What's left of it now. It's actually crushed the whole front end and completely destroyed it. The size of your ship, it's not surprising. It's also damaged your landing leg. It's not going to affect you taking off. It can still retract. That's not a problem. But you don't really want to be landing anywhere else anytime soon. You still need a little bit of attention.
I just want to make a point of saying that if we do need to get out of here quick, would it not be worth keeping Barrow behind?
I may need a hand from Barrow to actually get our power cell.
Because if our ship is damaged even more from that landing, we might not be able to go anywhere. And at least if we keep a man on the ship, it might help. Well, not man, but, a being on the ship. He's not a man, but he deserves to be spoken to with respect, Bob.
Look, I'm not leaving without my favorite monkey wrench. Let's go.
Okay.
You're taking Barrow with you then, yeah?
Yeah,
of course. It's weird. He doesn't need to wear a suit, of course. And it's kind of weird seeing him in completely zero gravity and zero atmosphere, I should say. But you
ice crystals.
Forming
slowly creeping across his rubbery skin.
You drift across. Come to the door. So, Oyston, you were opening the door, yeah?
I was, yes.
Okay. The door is huge. So as you're sort of turning in, the whole thing just cranks. As it does so, loads more dust sort of floods in. There's probably a little bit of pressure behind there, but not enough to make a lot of difference. And the whole thing sort of cranks open really, really slowly. And when you look into the corridor in the darkness, you see nothing. Just a long corridor heading off into the distance. Very big, very high, very wide.
I'm just going to crank until the door is wide enough for us to get through.
Yeah.
Because it's very labor intensive.
Yeah.
Why am I the only one doing this?
What's
the point of you lifting weights all the time, Bob? If I'm the one having to crank this fucking door.
Well, carry on for 2 minutes. You're fine.
Bob,
you're the go-getter. Try hard. You could have asked.
Bob, I know it's getting.
No, I got this.
Bob, I'm getting a bit scared, and I know you picked up some extra lights. So would you just mind keeping one on the floor here, just so we know our exit? Would you mind just keeping one on the floor?
Yeah, so I've got 5 in my pocket. I've cracked a couple around so there's 2 cracked around the landing bay, and I've given each of you an extra one.
Perfect.
And I've got one in my hand. Okay?
Brilliant. Cool. Thank you. Put my mind at ease.
Crack that and light it up as you please.
Yes, thank you. Shall we move forward?
Yeah, once the door's opened, ploughing on.
Yeah.
I will send Barrow through first, with me behind him with the gun up. Just in case.
This corridor is better part of 150 meters long. Like I said, these doors at either end are absolutely, every door to everywhere on this entire base is absolutely huge because everything needs to be accessed by large equipment. So as you are heading down the corridor, again, there is plenty of space, plenty of debris drifting around all over the place. And as you get towards the end, you see the double doors at the far end are already open, leading out into the rest of the actual area.
Oh, lovely.
So, you can drift straight through. Now, there's a lot of damage you can see on the inside. It looks like wall panels have been torn out. Conduits have been ripped to pieces. There's wires hanging all over the place. There's signs of electrical fire. And then when you get to the doorway, by the looks of it, the door has been forced open. You actually see the door has been bent slightly in the very center. And again, there's all sort of burners and scorch marks. And when you go through on the On the other side, there's lots of furniture all drifting around because number 3 is the common room, where people used to go and meet up and drink.
Yeah.
It's just like a gigantic canteen. And all the furniture is now drifting around all over the place. But you see a lot of the furniture is smashed. Some of it looks like it's been torn to pieces. And it's very telling when one of the sort of service counters starts drifting past you, there's bullet holes all the way along it.
Nice. I just want to make a point of saying to you guys that I don't think we're safe. I don't feel very comfortable about being here. I'm not weaponed and I'm not geared up. Is there anything that either of you can do to make me feel a bit more safe? Because I can't see anything. And in all honesty, I just want to save this life and go.
Well,
Bob is going to grunt and go, look, power relays are over there. I'm taking Barrow. I'm getting that. I'm getting it back on the ship. You guys do you.
right.
Hi.
So you're not coming with us.
You're not coming with us?
No.
Okay, Bob, that's fine.
Cool.
Stay close to me.
Bringing Barrow,
Lena.
though.
We're
That's
not
fine,
fa-
Bob. You
we're
go.
not far
Take all
away.
the weapons.
I don't know. Jerry
idea.
has the stunner and
No
the
Jerry
shotgun.
here.
No.
Sorry.
So
The other two are armed.
I'll just peel off and slowly pull my way
Yep.
along the side wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to
towards
follow
the comms,
Hoiston. Yeah, and go
Gotcha.
to the comms room.
because presumably that is
room,
where
yeah.
he was signalling from.
Yes. I'll be going with you, Hoiston.
Got
Is
you.
there-
And
More sign of violence in this direction
yeah,
as far as
lots.
damage along the walls and stuff.
The ceiling lights have all been destroyed and all
Yeah.
sorts. But then when you're going past location 7,
Mhm.
which is the computer core, it looks like the door's melted.
Melted.
Now, not melted as in burnt, then turned into glop. It looks like she literally just turned to liquid and then just, there's no burn
Acid.
marks. The
Acid melted.
frame all around the door is perfectly intact. But the door itself has literally just turned to glop, melted
Liquefied.
and pulled at the ground. That's it.
That's
It's
not,
liquefied.
that's not usual.
No, that's certainly not human.
Well,
Well,
it's a door.
I'm very concerned that it seems like that there has been acid burn. And what I am thinking, in all honesty, that if they wanted to get through this door, there's potentially something in there. Is there any chance that while we're going past this, you want to have a look in room 7, or do you want to do it on the way back?
I want to find Wifrin first, and then we
We'll go
can
to him first, and then
do
on the
any
way back.
exploring afterwards. Yeah, he
Yeah.
should be directly opposite anyway.
Yeah. The door into
comms.
comms is sealed, and again, you're going to have to, but it's not locked. And again, you're going to have to flip over the panel and turn the wheel.
Crank.
I know on the map it looks like huge, but this door isn't as big. It's only about 10 meters wide.
Right.
So-
What I'm going to do is I'll try and open it. If you can just watch my back while I open that.
Yeah.
Because you've got more weapons than me. So
Sure.
I'm just going to
If-
take ages to open the door because
That
I
makes you
am
feel any
weak
better?
and I have one strength.
It's
Great.
going to take you 4 minutes to open the
4
door.
minutes. Cool.
So,
So,
yeah.
I'm just sweating a little bit, really trying to push this
Really
door
going for it.
open.
Your suit's pumping more oxygen. It's sort of
Yeah.
detecting that you're exerting yourself, and it's basically trying to balance out the levels.
Mm,
The
yeah.
door opens, and we'll go back to Bob as he's heading up to the top to the to power control. Is that where you're headed to? Yeah.
Yeah, because I assume that's where I'm going to find the new converters that we're going to need to fix the ship to get us out of here.
The main door is open, so there's no problem getting through there. The secondary door is double sealed because you're going into the power core here now,
Yeah.
so it's extra shielded. So it's going to take a good 4 or 5 minutes to open it. I mean, Barrow can do it in a couple of minutes, no time. Because
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Barrow seal the outer door.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah,
then
okay.
open the inner door. Safety first.
Absolutely. He seals the outer door. No problem at all. He goes over. He starts turning the handle. And when the door gets to just wide enough for you to go through your seat, he stops turning the handle.
Okay.
And then you hear him go, curious.
Ooh.
What's up, Barrow? What happened?
It appears that my hand is melting, sir.
Okay, take your hand off it.
I have, sir. And my hand continues to melt. He holds up. By the looks of
disconnect
it,
your
his
forearm.
rubber skin's running down his hand to show the mechanical side of it. And then the mechanical stuff is literally like melting plastic. And it literally starts going down the arm. His
Right,
arm
I'm
is
glad I
literally just
brought
folding on
this.
itself.
Yeah, so I'm going to quickly take off the plasma cutter and cut
Yep.
the arm off above the affected area.
Okay. You take good idea. Jump forward. You do the plasma cutter. I will ask you to make an engineering roll.
That's
So
fine.
it's D6 plus education plus 1 for your engineering.
Okay, so that'll be a 5.
A 5. You cut his arm off, but you do go a little bit too deep. and you go into his torso as well. And he sort of judders and sort of steps back. He's looking a little bit confused. The arm falls to the ground, though. You cut it off, no problem at all. It melts, sort of like mercury. It's sort of literally everything sort of goes into this really weird-looking mass of metal, and like the Terminator, like the
T-1000
in the second film.
Yeah.
It sort of does that. It sort of parts of it sort of come out little spikes, as if it's trying to reform itself, and then it sort of flops over like a starfish on the beach, flops over a bit by bit, and then disappears into the power core room.
Okay, I'm going to get on comms to the other two.
Yeah.
Oyston, Helena, just a heads up, be careful what you touch. Barrow just lost an arm.
Is Barrow okay?
Barrow's looking a little bit confused.
Ish. I had to cut the arm off, and I may have hit some of his core systems, but we still have a Barrow. We haven't
cutting the arm off. Did I hear that right?
His arm was melting.
All right.
Melting with what? What did he put his hand into?
He touched a door control. The arm started to melt, and it looked like it was spreading. So I cut the arm off. Okay.
Well, I'm not opening any doors.
No.
Be careful what you touch. I'm going to turn to Barrow and go, Barrow, system check, please.
The systems appear to be functioning, Cabbage. And also, I honestly think that pineapple upstart Westminster Abbey, sir.
Okay, Barrow's fine. I'm going to turn to Barrow and have him open the other door into the power room.
Okay.
Want to go in there? Ooh.
Meanwhile, back at comms, you open the door, and inside is a comms room. Very, very dark. Again, only you can see with his helmet lights. Well, who's looking in first, I should ask?
Well, if Helena's been winding the wheel, I've been standing sort of sideways on, so I can keep an eye down the corridor where we've came from, and keep one eye to the core room and one eye on the comms room as it opens up. So once it gets around far enough, I will just be constantly sweeping back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the comm room is absolutely huge. There's all sort of banks of monitors and controls. Obviously, it receives and sends lots of information locally and interstellar. Very old equipment. It's a few years old. A lot of it is outdated, not even used anymore by any self-respecting sort of explorer. Mm-hmm. But on the far side of the room, sat at the table, you see a spacesuit. A very old design, but spacesuit nonetheless. And in front of it, the screen is activated, which is and you can actually see the lights. You actually recognise the symbols for an outgoing transmission, and the symbols as well for a guidance beacon, navigation guidance beacon. Mm-hmm. But they're sort of slumped in the chair with the back turned to, big high back chair, sort of slumped forward with the hands on the console, not moving.
Presumably that's Wuffren. Make my way in. I'll go first.
I'm going to shut the door behind me. Shut the door behind me.
It's a long time to.
Oh yeah, I'll leave the door.
I'm just saying, if we need to make a fast.
You're right. You are very right.
You drift forward towards Wuffren.
I'm just going to speak to him in a calming way. I'm not going to touch him. I'm not going to get close to him. I'm just going to kind of repeat his name, just explain what's going on. We're here. We're here to help you. To see if he responds at all before we get closer.
He doesn't respond as you drift. You both drifting over to him at the same time, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we hear him breathing or anything?
No. You don't hear that over comms anyway, and by looks of it, his suit comms isn't activated.
No movement whatsoever.
No.
Does the Evo suit that I've brought marry up to what he's wearing? Could it be a case of me just taking that helmet off and replacing it with our helmet and life support pack and pumping oxygen in?
Yeah, should be absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with that first then.
Yep.
Brilliant. As you get close, you see that the helmet's at the front is in a really weird shape, and there's things coming out of it. It's as if the front of the helmet itself, the big, like the gold visor bit's down.
Yep.
And it's melted into the actual helmet itself and all the way around and down to the shoulders and at the front. And there's all sorts of weird, like spikes coming out of it and actually into the console in front of you. And those spikes are sort of pulsing like there's like veins almost. And it's sort of, and getting closer, just inside the helmet, you see that it's melted, it's gone through the helmet and has gone into his face, into his eyes, up his nose, into his mouth, into his ears. And you see his head shaking as if he's been affected by it. And that's when I have to ask you both to make a pressure roll, please.
Sure.
So if you roll a d6 and add your pressure bonus.
I got 4 and a 4, so
That's
8.
an 8. So you get 1 pressure point there. Helena?
I got a 1.
Blimey.
So 7. Total.
7, so you get a pressure point as well. Yeah, it looks horrific. I mean, it's literally as if whatever it is that's attached to his helmet is melted through the visor and then pushed through and then gone into his face.
And he's still moving. He's
still moving. His head shaking. It's gone into his eye sockets, up his nose, into his mouth, into his ears, and parts of his cheeks, and even into his head. Little tendrils, and they're pulsing as well.
So, as a medic, I'm going to try and scan him to see if there's any, I don't know, something radioactive, maybe something to stop us from getting something infectious, or however maybe. Just try and scan him. I'm going to have to roll. Yeah,
roll a d6 and add your education and add your +2 for your medical roll.
So I've got 3 and add a 3 and add a 2. So I've got 8.
8, brilliant. Yeah, you quickly get on your pad, pull up your medical app data, and you basically do the scan. He's dead. He's very, very dead. It looks like he's been dead for quite a long time. The decomposition for the rest of the body, you're probably talking years. He's been dead for a very long time. But whatever it is that's going through the helmet and into his face doesn't show up as bioorganic at all. It's not even showing as alive. So it's either technological or something else.
I'm going to take a bit from a small knife and a vial to take a sample.
As your knife touches it, the end of the knife starts to melt straight away.
I'll drop the knife.
Okay. Then you drop the knife, it lands on the floor, it melts down into this weird blob of mercury type stuff, and then like a tendril suddenly whips out, attaches itself to the rest of it that's attached to his face, and it sort of absorbs it and pulls itself back in again.
Do I see that?
Yes.
We're leaving now, Helena.
Sounds like a plan. Come on, let's get out of here. I don't think he's alive.
Yeah.
Run.
And as we go back out of the corridor, we're down.
But as you turn around, start heading towards the door is slowly closing behind
you. Go.
Run. Yeah.
Okay. Well, float.
Fly faster.
Both of you roll a d6 and add your agility score. And remember, you're losing 1 point because you're in a spacesuit.
What are you going to say, Jerry?
As Helena's going towards the door, I'm going to flip onto my back, so I'm floating backwards, get the shotgun, aim it at the thing in the chair, and fire it. Because at the very least, it will give me a bit more speed.
It'll give you time as well.
Yeah.
It's time and speed. Okay.
Well, make your agility rolls first.
Yep. And with -1s as well.
Yeah, -1s as well, yeah.
Cool.
So 8.
8?
Yep, so I've got a 1 strength, and I've rolled a 6, and then it will take it off, so 6.
No, it's your agility.
It's your agility.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, agility 2. Sorry. 7. Then,
7.
Equivalent.
Brilliant. Okay, no, that's fine. You both push away. You're going flying towards it. You spin around, and then you fire your shotgun in 0 gravity. So pull off your shot. So it's a D6 plus your agility, and plus you got security as a secondary, haven't you? So yeah, +1 for your security as well.
Still with a -1 because.
Of course, yeah. But at this range, 9, to hit, it's going to be a 6.
9.
9. Yeah, you pump around into the chamber. You pull off the shot. You don't hear it. You sort of hear this sort of muffled because you're in a spacesuit. There's zero atmosphere. You speed up. You go flying past Helena and pretty much straight towards the door. The shot goes into the back of the suit, and it just erupts. But it's really weird. You know how a teardrop lands in water?
Yes.
And it sort of all bits come out and then drop back down again. It's like that. So the whole thing spreads out like some sort of fractal sort of CGI sort of look, and then sucks all the way back in again. And then the body literally just explodes. The helmet flies off, the arms fly off in all directions, and this massive mass of what looks like just a massive myriad of spikes goes in all different directions, slamming into the ceiling, into the consoles, and then also flying towards you, Pear, as you're trying to get out.
Oh, lovely.
So what's your agility score, sorry? What did you roll for your agility?
Mine? Oh, yours, sorry.
Mine's
7. Mine's 7, yeah.
And you rolled an 8.
8. Yeah.
Okay, for the 7 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, just misses. As you're going out the door, whatever it is goes flying past you, whips, and then sort of snaps back again. And for you, it's 6, so 7, 8, 9, it actually hits you. So the tendril comes flying forward, slams you, let's roll randomly for a location, slams you into the leg, actually, goes into your leg and into the suit. And literally just tears through it straight away, warning sirens are going off in your helmet. Pressure loss, pressure loss, pressure loss. And it's gone into your suit. You've lost a point of strength. What is your strength?
Strength is 2.
2. So you're down to 1 point of strength. Yeah, the pain is excruciating. But what's weird is that it's gone into it and it feels hot. And it's literally wrapped around your leg in the suit. Meanwhile, back in the engine room, you're in the engine room. You've walked in to location 2. Barrow's trying to follow you. Basically, what I'm going to do, every time he tries to do something, I'm going to roll a d6. And if I roll a 1, he's basically just going to fail to do it completely because his programming's all a bit messed up. And he rolls a 1. So he goes to follow you and just walks into the door frame. And he's sort of looking around confused as if, why is it there? As you go into the engine room.
Okay. I am going to look for the converter that I need to get our ship working, because that's my priority right now, is making sure we can get the hell out of here, get back home, and get our double bonus.
Gotcha. Okay. You head in there. The engine is laid out like a standard Sahara class. So, yeah, you know exactly where that is. You dealt with those things before. Fortunately, it's a little bit cramped. And to get to the converters, you're going to have to open up this access shaft, and crawl down it about 5 meters, take the converter out, and then crawl out again backwards. The shaft itself is probably about 1 meter by 1 meter in height and width. It's not a lot of space.
I am
just enough for your spacesuit.
Yeah, I'm completely happy doing that. And basically, as soon as I see the converter, I'm back on the comms to the other 2 saying, hey guys, I found the converter. We should be able to take off and get out of here again. How are you guys doing?
At that point, I'm going to be dragging Hoiston into that number. Was it number 7, the computer room with the door that was
opposite?
off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to drag him in there and I'm going to barricade the door.
Gotcha.
Because I need to make sure he's alive and safe.
Yeah. As you're sort of drifting across the corridor, this tendril is trying to pull Oyston back. Yeah. There's quite a lot of strength in it as well.
Oh.
So, Helena, can you roll a d6 and plus your strength? And because Oyston as well, he's obviously, I assume Oyston, you're going to try and help.
Oh, yes.
7.
Yeah, and try and get free. So you get an extra +1 to that as well.
Especially if, presumably the door that we were trying to get through, it's stopped trying to close.
That's right,
did
yes.
It continue?
It stopped.
Okay.
In fact, it's starting to open again.
Okay. I got, I rolled 6. I got my strength of a 1 and added another 1, so I'm an 8.
8, brilliant. You drift over, you literally tear the tentacle off of it, and it sort of whips backwards and disappears. There's no blood coming out of it. There's little fragments of a lot, I said, like little globs of liquid, and they sort of drift off, and they're sort of moving on their own independent free will. Obviously, nothing to attach to now, so they're literally just blobbing about. Yeah, and then you drift straight into the computer core. As you go and you slam on a console on the other side, and then all these banks of computers suddenly switch on, and there's all screens coming on and lights. So you don't know what you've smacked into. You just floated straight into it where you couldn't stop yourself. You're literally floating backwards and then straight into it. And then one of the larger screens sort of clicks on, and then you see he comes up and he's wearing a tag, and he's got their Wolfram PhD, obviously the guy. Quite a handsome guy, big glasses, sort of scrappy little beard, got massive sideburns, Isaac Asimov style. And he's sort of stood there and he's going, well, it looks like it's a complete success. This whole place should be automated very, very soon. All we need to make sure is that what we do with the nanites is, of course, ethically clean. We know that we weren't allowed to do this, which is why we're doing it all the way out here. But I think when we actually go back to civilization and present them our findings, they will be absolutely stunned with what we can do. It's a whole new level of science. The ability to adjust and manipulate matter with nanites, absolutely incredible. I cannot see any drawbacks at all. So 3 more days, we'll pack up the equipment. And sorry, you've broken what, sorry? And then it just cuts off.
After that video, I'm going to make a call over comms just to explain to Bob what's gone on over the last couple of minutes, reassure him that Oyston is okay, and that we need to get out of here now.
Oh, yeah. I'll join in on that one.
Yeah.
And suggest hustling right now. Faster.
Right now.
Bob, you've crawled down this access shaft. I'm going to ask you to make an agility roll, please. A D6 plus your agility score. Remember, you're minusing 1 because you're in a spacesuit.
That'll be an 8.
Yep. You get to the end, no problem at all. It's literally like basically just, I don't know, it's like a giant American football with connectors at the end. You just unscrew it quickly and pull it down, start dragging it back. As you're going back down the...
Take 2.
Sorry?
I'm going to try and take 2.
Okay, that's no problem at all.
Just in case something else goes wrong.
As you're sort of crawling your way backwards, the instruments, the area where you've taken out of it, suddenly starts to melt and starts to form into a glob directly in front of you. So I'm going to ask you to make another agility roll, please. Difficulty to get out in time is going to be 7.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Toto.
3. Okay. You scroll backwards, and just as you get out to the end, the sort of tentacles sort of come flashing out and slam into your face, into the faceplate of your helmet. You can see the faceplate starting to melt in front of your eyes. Meanwhile, back in the comms room, you're still losing pressure in your spacesuit there.
Yeah.
I assume we have some sort of patching.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say, can I not, as well, because he did lose a strength point, is there any type of adrenaline or anything like that I can help him with to gain that strength point?
Yeah, you can basically, on all spacesuits, there's like these little, I don't know what they're called, where people put syringes in to sort of intravenously give you drugs. There's one of those on
like
a spacesuit just in
butterfly.
case.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, you can do that whilst you're repairing your suit. You do have an emergency repair kit.
I will slap that on as quickly as I can.
Okay, no problem at all. So I need you to make
and I'll be narrating to Bob as we're doing this. So in a minute, Bob will get a constant stream on comms, but go for it, Jonathan. What do I?
Make a roll against the D6 plus your education, and you don't have engineering, do you? So just a D6 plus your education.
So 7.
7. Okay, that's fine. And Helena, if you're going to administer the stimulator, can you roll a D6 plus your education and plus your medic?
Oh, this is a good one. Cool. I've got 11.
11. Brilliant. Double digits. So you get your strength point back, but not for health reasons. So you basically, it's like a burst of adrenaline. So you get your strength point back if you're making rolls as far as making strength rolls are concerned.
Okay.
But you're still at 1 point for any damage purposes, yes?
Okay.
Okay. So you're giving him the boost that he needs.
Bob, we've run into something on this ship. We're coming towards you now. They were doing some sort of nanotechnology. We need to get what we came for and get out immediately. It's a hostile entity. We're coming towards you as we speak.
From Bob's end of the comms, all you are hearing is an extremely expressive string of expletives.
Yeah.
As this thing has hit him in the face, and he's screaming, "Barrow, give me a hand."
Barrow rolls a D6. And he rolls a 6.
Yes, Barrow!
Barrow comes grabbing over, and he literally grabs hold, with his hand, sorry. He literally grabs hold of the tentacles. Let's see what he does, actually. He's got a strength of 2. And he rolls a 4, 5, 6. He starts pulling it away, and it comes away. It starts eating into his arm. Your helmet is really badly melted, but he manages to pull it off. Your helmet is actually so melted, you can virtually see nothing out of it. So you're sort of having to, I don't know how to explain it. It's literally it's like being in a car with smashed glass. You can't see out of it properly. You can see images, but nothing really clear. It's melted, but it hasn't penetrated.
Straight up back away from this thing, and
it's eating up his arm. It's now into his chest, and you see it go up into his neck. And he turns to you and he says, "I think now, sir, would it be a good time for you to evacuate?"
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm pulling back. I'm trying to make sure I'm holding on to the converter as well while we're doing this.
No problem.
And in my other hand, I'm gonna pull out the plasma cutter.
Yep.
Just in case I need to do something.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm basically going to be blindly backing my way out, trying to find the door to get the hell out.
Okay. From now on, anything you do, unless it's a memory thing, you'll be under further -1 penalty because, you basically can't see a thing at the moment. Meanwhile, back in the comms room,
we are leaving.
Yeah,
we are leaving.
As soon as
we're out,
I'm pumped, and I can feel the vein throbbing in my neck with a little jolt of adrenaline. Out that door and off to the left and heading towards Bob and Barrow.
You start making your way down there, pushing yourself off as many. There's loads of things to push yourself off anyway. So you're sort of pulling yourself along there, and then behind you, the door literally, it sort of melts, but it's open anyway. And whatever it is, it's huge. It's the size of a small elephant.
Oh, lovely!
And it literally just blobs out of the comms room. And to move itself along, it's like a massive blob hanging in the center of the corridor, and it's sending out tendrils and what have you to grab hold and pull itself along. So it's a big pulsating ball of mercury, like I say, with loads of sort of weird fluctuating colours. I'm
Yeah.
speaking so fast, I don't know what I'm saying. Lots of fluctuating colours, so it's like oil on water, all on the surface of it,
Yeah.
and then it's literally just pulling itself along with these tendrils. As you get to the door at the top where Bob's coming out,
Yep.
Bob does come out, but you can see his helmet's completely ruined, and Barrow's not with him.
Okay.
I'm screaming at this
Yep.
point. I'm going to be screaming, and I'm going to scream at Bob. We need to go now because we can see him.
Yep.
And at that point, me and Hoisting are sprinting. Well, pushing off to
Pushing.
sprinting equivalent. So we are making it urgent
need to lead Bob.
get out.
Because I
You
can
need to
see
leave
Bob.
Bob. Why?
Can't
What's Bob doing?
no, we need to lead him.
Oh,
'cause I
okay.
can see.
Leave
He
him
can't,
to-
he can't
leave
see
Bob.
out of
I'm
that.
literally- What the hell?
No, we do. You're right.
Okay, everybody make agility rolls. Going down this corridor, the doors are still open. This massive fluctuating blob is still coming towards you.
Drazer.
So D6 plus agility.
The
So I'm at -2, so I'm on a 7.
That's a 7. That's still good.
I'm
I'm an 8.
on a 7
An
as well.
And a 7. Brilliant. You basically just push it as long as nobody rolled 6 or less, you're absolutely fine. So you push yourselves off and you're floating down this corridor, and then behind you, the blob comes around the corner and he's sort of is coming along, and tendrils are getting really close.
The Drazer is essentially an electric stun gun.
That's right.
Is there any way to make it nuke itself? Is there a
No,
way
it
to overcharge it?
literally just fires a dart with 20-odd thousand volts in it.
Okay, in that case, as we're going, I'll try that, because if it is nanotechnology, maybe bots
I
don't like
completely agree.
electricity.
Whilst he's
We know
doing
that
that,
they love shotgun shells, so I'm not doing
Okay.
that again.
Yeah.
whilst he's doing that, I'm going to go and grab Bob
Yep.
because he can't see. So I'm going
Yep.
to try and bounce up to him and grab him. to,
Okay, with Helena's guidance, Bob, you get your 1 point back. So you just have the dependency of 1 point like everybody else now. As you go blasting towards the door, you turn around with your Dazer. It's a massive target. There's chances are you're not going to miss. I shouldn't have said that.
No,
So
know
yeah,
me.
difficulty to hit 6.
So
I know
this
Jerry's
is-
dice.
It's a
I get
D6.
I got a 6.
Yeah,
Hey.
brilliant. Your thought process is paid off. You pull off the shot. It goes into the blob. There's a huge flash of white light as it charges throughout it, and the whole thing just disassembles, literally like almost like ash, and it just disassembles and it just drifts through the 0G, every single part of it. But then you notice in certain areas it's starting to reassemble again, very very slowly.
Faster. We need to leave faster.
We need to get out of here now.
Yeah.
We
If
haven't.
if
We're
get
down
out
a
of here,
Barrow as well.
I'm less than worried about the toaster. Go.
I'm sorry,
Right.
but it got him. Barrow is gone. We go now.
Okay. I'm really upset because Barrow's gone, but we're going to get on and we're going to try and get a wiggle on.
You get back to the
It
ship
died heroically.
you get through the door, straight into the airlock, which cycles quite quickly. Actually, it feels like an age, but it does cycle quite quickly. It cycles shut. Let me just roll a d6, see how long it's going to take for this thing to. Yeah, you need to move it. So you can basically, when you get to the helm, you get to the bridge, you
Yep.
can send a signal, and the doors will open for you pretty much automatically.
Straight away, not
Yeah.
even taking my helmet
No
off.
messing.
I'm not waiting any time at all.
No.
Yeah.
myself in there
As
and-
soon as we're in, I am starting to strip my gear off.
Yep.
So I can actually see again. And I'm going to gather it up into like a biohazard containment bin. I'm going to
Yep.
go after the other two to gather theirs up because I am not keeping this, what has been touched on the ship,
Mhm.
Yep.
by that thing.
What I'm going to do as well after. Sorry, Justin. I was going to say what I'm going to do after that is check if Bob's okay because
Yeah.
he's had a bit of stress as well. So after he's gone and got our suits, I'm
Yeah.
actually going to give him a scan over and double check Hoisting as well because he had some stuff going on there. So I'm just going
suit
to
got
run over.
punctured. I don't trust this.
No.
I'm fine.
So
I mean,
yep.
it's a bit itchy, but I'm fine.
Is your
Don't
leg
worry about
numb?
it. Is that the door open? Can
Yeah.
we go into deep space now?
Doors open. You need to make a helm roll, please. So you're telling me you're putting all your suits into just what you're going to jettison them, or
I'm not taking
yeah,
mine off
basically
until we're out
the-
of the station.
A pod launcher.
Yep.
I'm getting it all dumped into there. And even if I have to argue with Oyston to get his off, I am not letting him hang on to it for any longer than we absolutely must.
You don't have to argue with me to get it off. You just have to ask. And maybe wine me and dine me, Bob.
That's not who
I'm not
Bob
wasting
is.
the time to
That's
strip.
not how
I'm
Bob
not wasting the
rolls.
time to strip down when I'm attempting to maneuver us on thrusters only outside the space station.
In fact, you need to make your roll. So roll your d6, add your agility, and add your helm.
Okay.
bonus.
Would be 8, but since I'm still wearing my spacesuit, 7.
Oh, you went up in the bridge in the spacesuit, yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not taking.
okay.
I'm
You
not,
weren't messing
not
around.
wasting the
No.
time to take things off. I was sprinting.
You get up to
through
the space,
ship.
you get up to the bridge, you get in your seats, blah, 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 get it all powered up. The door opens before it's even fully open. You're up on thrusters and you're swinging around sideways, and then you're out into free space. As you get out into free space, that blob has come into the hangar.
Landing bay.
It reaches out, but you're too far out of range at this point, and you move away from the station.
Oh,
Right. I'm assuming, hopefully by this stage, I can have my suit off.
Yes.
Right. I am charging after him
Mhm.
to get his suit as well, because
Yep.
I am basically panicking right now, going, I do not want this on our ship. Get onto the bridge and just say, get your suit in there now. We're jetsoning it.
Yep.
I will do this thing. Strip
Okay.
down.
You strip down, you get your suit off.
And
Well,
as soon as he's done, I am zapping him with the taser gun, just in case there's any in his bloodstream.
Okay.
I think as well as that, is it just out of hope and just out of trying? I'm just going to try and run some comms with Barrow.
Okay.
Just give that a go, just to see if we get anything back.
Good afternoon, miss. What can I do for you?
Barrow, you're alive.
Yes.
Where are you? We're
I
the
am
last
still in
we
the-
heard.
I'm
Where
still in
are
the
you?
engine room, miss. The entity has made communication, and it is learning as much as it possibly can from me, miss.
Learning. What do you mean by learning, Barrow?
It is nanotechnology. They created it so they could readjust matter so things could be basically turned into whatever they needed it to be. But what I did not realize is that as a nanotechnology, the more of them that there were, they acted as, how can I put it, neurons. So they actually, what they were creating was a communicative brain. As the larger it got, the more intelligent it got, and the more curious it became, until it started to disassemble the crew and then also disassemble the rest of the station. It is disassembling me now because my core programming and data is full of all kinds of information. And so it wishes to absorb me and basically learn everything it can from me, miss.
By learning everything you can, do they have access to our location?
Yes, miss.
Thank you, Barrow.
Can I just say that it's been an absolute pleasure serving with you and the rest of the crew. And if you could say goodbye to both Bob and Oyster for me, and good luck in the future.
Of course, Barrow. It's been a pleasure. Sleep well.
Goodbye, miss. And he clicks off.
I'm going to run and tell. I don't know. I'd say that you should have been in earshot for that. In all fairness.
Yeah, you would have been in the bridge, yeah, whilst they were fighting over the spacesuit.
So I'm
Nobody
just
was
going.
fighting.
Not particularly fighting. It's just, Oyston is taking it off as soon as he has it off and it's in the bin.
Yep.
Zapping Oyston, just in case.
It's attempted.
No. It's a medical procedure, I swear. I may take the leg.
Yeah.
While you are shouting at each other about a spacesuit, I'm going to tell you how much danger we're in, and that there is that what hurt you before hoisting is coming for us because they have our
I think by
location.
this stage I'll be dead on the well, not dead, but unconscious on the floor.
Oh yeah, he's been tasered. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll be
Take it
shouting that at Bob. Tell him he needs to get a wiggle on and that we need stuff fixing because the nanotech finds everything.
Yeah, I know we're already jetting away. I want to dump anything that was touched by the nanotech first.
Mm-hmm.
Looks meaningfully at Oyston. Just the suits
Okay.
for now.
I'm
Cut his leg off.
I'm very panicked and I'm also feeling a bit lost without Barrow.
Yeah.
Without that
Yeah,
support.
well, basically, I'm going to grab up all of the biohazard boxes, get them into the probe launcher, and just jettison that right away.
You just that's dead simple to do. You just pile them all in. It's hermetically sealed. You put it all in. That matters to a nanite entity, and then you manage to get it all together, and then you blow it out the airlock.
Yeah. Now to the engine room to fix the engine and get the hell out of there.
Gotcha. You head back to the engine room. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to try and wake up Hoiston because he's a bit worse for wear after being tased.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Whether it be some salts or something, just to get him back to himself, because we got to go places.
Yeah.
So I'll rehydrate him, give him something to eat, get him back to full standing, so he can get a wiggle on.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. You bring him around, you get him in the seat. And basically trying to get things back on track. It doesn't take Bob long to actually reinstall the converter. It's not an exact match, but it will do the trick. A little bit of jury rigging, it'll be absolutely fine. You can complete your mission, that's for sure. It'll be a little bit the worst for wear.
It's important that we complete the mission. It's what we're being paid for.
Yes.
However,
before
we go, can we launch one of the boys?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I want to be here to both claim it for Cambridge Wallace, and then also send a transmission going jackpot.
Oh yeah.
There's nanotechnology in here. I mean, it's going to require a full science team and possibly quite a lot of military thing. We do know it has a weakness to electricity, but it's learning at an exponential rate. This could be worth millions of billions.
P.S. It's got RSAM.
Yeah.
Just so they know that it got RSAM, so it now knows our procedures.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Money.
That's the next crew's problem. That's a them problem.
You are the next crew.
We found it.
Yeah, you get the ship fixed. You send the transmission with the warning and the details of exactly what's happened, and then you all settle down. Take a bit of a breath, make sure everything's fine. On the outside of the ship, the landing strut has retracted back into, it's slightly damaged, but it's got small parts of the forklift truck attached to it.
Oh.
And whilst it's inside its bay, the forklift truck parts start to melt. And that's the end, guys.
Oh no, we're never going to be safe.
We're totally safe. We're all fine here.
I mean, I was this close to taking Jerry's leg off.
Yeah,
because we all know how well that worked with the droid.
I saved him for a little bit so that he could save me.
If there was ever somebody taking my leg off, I'd much prefer to be the medical officer and not a lunatic engineer who is very bad at his job with a plasma cutter.
I'm bad at my job because I listen to you guys.
I wonder if we could have salvaged it. Just kept on hacking at Barrow more and more, because if it was only melted up to here, at least we could have saved a little bit. I just wonder how much of Barrow we could have saved.
We saved his hair.
We saved exactly.
At that point, it was a case of me going, the synth can die. I have what we need to get ourselves out. And if I could have made it to the ship on my own, I would have abandoned you. Yeah. Just saying.
Good luck taking off. You've seen how well you can use an engine. Have you ever seen a joystick before?
My agility and my engineering score, or my agility score at the very least, would have helped with that.
Well, that is true.
Anyway, you would have just run into the bay to see me trying to hotwire a spaceship.
It's a delightful thought, but thank you, Jonathan. It's been an absolute pleasure once again.
It has.
And we didn't go slightly mad this time.
No, extremely well.
We were very, very good.
Yeah.
All things considered.
No, I really appreciate you guys coming out to play. You're all absolutely fantastic, and thanks for being such good sports. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you so much for everything. I've had a whale of a time. I can't wait. I want to go back now.
It's a great game. I'm waiting for the sequel to this episode.
I was about to say, I always leave things open for a sequel.
Yeah, it's too right. Yeah. If you've enjoyed that at home and you haven't seen the initial game Jonathan ran for us, go back, have a look at that. Definitely check out those Dark Blazes. It's a stunning game. Look.
Snap. You and Michael Bay there with the lens flare.
It's a fantastic game of industrial sci-fi, and it's one of these games that has such a light system that anybody can pick it up and start playing immediately without having to worry about knowing all of the rules in depth. If you've seen Aliens, if you've seen Outland, if you've ever seen Sean Connery on a mining asteroid in Outland, with the shotgun, then you're flying. Yeah. So let us know what you thought below, but we're going to move on, folks. Enjoy your Halloween.
We hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.